I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, but out of 10,000 kidneys that would have been available last year, she would have only been legible for, I think it was 12. And out of those 12, she might not have got any, depending on how close a match they were.
And why is that?
Because she's had a kidney before, she's got so many antibodies that every time you have a transplant or an operation or a blood transfusion or you have a child, your body builds up more and more antibodies. So she's now in a position where she's got so many antibodies, she's kind of stuffed for a kidney. And her sister also came forward, and so did her parents and a couple of other people. Her sister was the closest match. But they said on this occasion it would be more beneficial to go with a completely opposite and go down the desensitisation route. So at the mercy of the surgeons and the experts, it's kind of, you go with the flow and say that's the better thing to do, then you have mine. It's all down to wanting to spend time with her, and I can't at the minute because of the commitments that she has with her health.
There we are recording. Okay. So, tell me how it felt when you found out I had to go on dialysis.
When it was confirmed, I think we left you in Exeter at the kidney unit, and we came home, and the following day, the weather was absolutely beautiful. We sat in the garden and cried all day.
Cried all day. 24 hours of crying. But when you actually went on to dialysis, we knew it was the way forward. It meant that you lived and you didn't die. So that was okay. And because you are quite a deft and intelligent boy, you handled the dialysis yourself. That was a little difficult because you wanted to do your best. It was huge. I mean, the equipment was huge. It filled the bedroom. You had these 4 huge canisters.
The trouble was with that, you kept getting infections of the peritoneum, and you used to have to take you to hospital in the middle of the night because you'd wake up in considerable pain.
And it meant we had to have the alarm fitted in the bedroom. And I found it difficult to sleep because I was waiting for the alarm, and then to my absolute horror I slept through it one day, and one night, and Johnson had to come and beat on the door and say, "Come to David, he's moaning," you know. And as Steve said, it was a continual sort of low grade peritonitis. It meant we saw you in pain all the time. It wasn't a very pleasant sight.
When I was first ill, they'd been much more emotionally affected by it than I had realised, because obviously they were trying to be kind of strong for me, and they wouldn't ever want me to see them upset. They're not those kind of people. But clearly it had affected them, and I'd imagined that it had, but I'd never seen it. And hearing them talking about it was quite affecting. But also that it had been a really major event in the life of the family, and they kind of downplayed it a bit, but you kind of see it in their eyes as they think back to it, that it's kind of a dark time. So in a way I felt a bit bad about making them relive it again, but I think they were grateful for the opportunity to say it as well.
Any pain?
No, it's a bit cold.
Cold.
Yeah.
That's fine. Then it's absolutely fine. It's in the right place. Yeah.
Thank
Well
you.
done. Thank you.
Can you tell me what it is you've just done?
That's the Venflon cannula, just for her anti-rejection injection, basiliximab, before the theatre operation. Yeah.
She kept feeling not very well for a long time, and then they took her in to Southampton General Hospital. They kept her in for approximately 6 weeks, and that's when they found out she had the kidney trouble. Her mum phoned me up, and I just thought any way I could help, I would. That's when I decided I put myself forward as well to help her with the kidney if she, if mine was all right. I hope she leads a normal life and she does the normal things that young girls grow up to do. Probably have children later in life, but she's career minded at the moment. She wants to go to university, which they've accepted her. So yeah, let's just hope it all works out for her right. That's the main thing. I'm in the lap of the gods at the moment. I'm trusting the surgeons and everyone else.
Yeah.
Really, yeah. On their expertise, really.
What we can use because of there's only a few jobs yeah, well, the thing is we'd rather stick with one drug than another because it gets more complicated and again with the different routes you get different absorption times.
Good luck, Nigel.
Well, yeah, exactly, and they may not. Exactly.
What is that fluid that you're
This is, it's called Hibby Scrub. It's provided by the NHS. Every month a large lorry pulls up outside this door and unloads vast numbers of boxes. Okay, right, this is the kit. Everything is in this box. So, nice clean tray. Open the bag. It's got little slits in it. Take these off. Right, this is the bag into which the fluid that's in me at the moment is drained. That goes down there. And this one eventually will be hooked up there on the door and it'll drain back in. So there's no electricity or mechanism involved, it's just gravity. It's most important to keep this junction very clean because if we get anything foreign on it and it goes inside me, I might get peritonitis and end up in a hospital. That goes on there, click into place. Yeah, this is my catheter. It's called a Tenkhoff catheter. It's inserted into you surgically at the beginning of the dialysis process. It's quite painful for a day or two. Obviously, somebody cuts you open, but you soon get over that. And being very careful not to touch the black part there because obviously that's exposed. You screw that into there. And now the bag on the floor will now receive 2 litres of fluid, which is inside me. So here we go. Open the valve, and you'll see it flowing down the pipe and into the bag. And that will now take about 10 minutes to fill. If I stand up, it's quicker. Tiny bit more gravity. Basically, what the fluid does, it sits in your peritoneal cavity, which is next to your stomach down there. It's just a sort of void inside you. And 2 litres of this stuff, and it, by a process of osmosis, I believe it's called, it draws out excess fluid from your body and waste products from your bloodstream. And if you didn't do that, after a while, your body would fill up with excess fluid, your ankles would swell, you would feel really bad, and after a short period, you die. So this is extracting that stuff from me.
This is the equivalent of somebody who's not got renal failure just having a wee, basically.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm basically, losing my excess fluid, which is urine normally, into this bag. I don't feel that it affects my lifestyle at all much, really. I still do my full-time job. I still, watch the television, use the keyboard, go family outings, even go on holiday. I went on a 10-day holiday to France not long ago in the summer. It was great. Just took it all with me. Right, that's pretty nearly full by now. Right. 2.25. Now, step 2. This bag has a special hanging hole. That one hasn't got it, so that you can't possibly drain the nasty back into you, okay? Only this one goes on a hook. The other one can't be hooked. Okay. And obviously I sit down because the higher that is, the quicker it will drain. So I now sit here for a few minutes while it goes into me.
Seems much less intrusive than hemodialysis.
Yeah.
Why would anybody do hemodialysis? What is
A lot of people aren't suited to this for various reasons. If they've had certain diseases and things like this. I think it was invented in Eastern Europe, possibly, as a cheap alternative to expensive dialysis methods. And the person who invented it, you know, I hope they covered in medals, because it's a wonderful system.
So Lauren, just tell me where we are now, what's happening now?
What's the time? It's 10 to 10 on Tuesday, is it the 12th? Yep.
Tuesday the 12th.
And my dad's just gone to theatre, so I'm waiting for him to come out. It'll be a long time. Isn't it about 3.5 hours?
I think so, yeah.
And then what?
And then I go down and get a kidney. It's so weird.
It is weird. I agree, it is weird. It's very cool, but it is very
I
weird.
know. It's like today. Today is the day.
It's like in 2 hours' time.
Yes. My eyes really hurt.
They won't die. Right then.
We all said we would be donors, but he doesn't want us to be.
As you know, I'm reluctant.
He's reluctant to take ours.
So
We've all said yes, we're happy to, but he's not.
I don't want to limit you, and I don't want to cope with thinking I'm wandering around with a bit of you inside me. It's not. It's hard to explain. It's very hard to explain. To look at you and say, I've got your kidney, for me is difficult.
You'd rather it was someone, yeah.
But having had a heart transplant, I don't think about the donor of the heart
You
transplant
didn't
at all.
know him.
Because I didn't know him, I had no connection with him or his family. So it's not something I think about. I think, I'm glad I had a heart transplant, because I would be dead. But it's not something I would look at you and think, I've got his kidney. I don't look at you and say, I've got your heart.
Yeah.
So it's a difficult one for me, and it is just psychological. It's something I don't want to. Giving them a death's door, and they're going to turn the dialysis machine off unless I take your kidney. I'll take it, and I'll overcome the issues. But it'll be a dark day.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Well, I've actually gone through most of the testing. I am actually a match. So at the moment we're 3/4 of the way through it. But we have been to see the psychologist, the psychiatrist, and Kevin has a lot of issues with it. So I'm quite happy to give him my kidney, but he's not quite so happy to receive it. So at the moment we still don't know, because he was like this with his heart transplant. Kevin is the type that will stick his head in the sand and really doesn't want to know anything about it. He just will have it. Whereas I wanted to know all the ins and outs and what they were going to do and everything else. So as far as this is concerned, he has issues with putting me through pain and everything else. So at the moment I am a match. I'm waiting to do a biopsy, but it's Kevin's decision at the end of the day.
But it's also the fact that two of us can't be ill at the same time.
Well, we can't have someone to look after us if we were both.
We can't suddenly say, right, we're going to have 6 weeks of being ill, nobody here. It's just some. That's supposed to be a border collie.
Yeah, it's meant to be a dog with a brain, but no.